I recently received a good question from one of my readers. The angel Gabriel visits both Zechariah and Mary to announce a miracle birth. Both ask a question. So why does Zechariah get struck dumb while Mary gets a blessing? It feels a bit lopsided, doesn't it? But when you look closer at the why behind their words, we find a profound lesson about faith, timing, and the scars of unanswered prayer. Zechariah and Elizabeth were both righteous, yes, but they were also human. Imagine decades of praying for a son. By the time they reached their 60s, that prayer had almost likely been tucked away in a drawer, tightly locked away with their disappointment. When Gabriel finally appears, Zechariah doesn't see a miracle. He sees a reminder of that disappointment. So his response, "How shall I know this?" It wasn't a request for information, it was a demand for proof. Even bringing up their age because he felt mocked by the timing of it all. His heart had grown protectively cynical. See, that's how we protect our hearts. We become cynical. And the silence that Gabriel imposed on him wasn't just like a timeout. It was possibly a way of preventing him from speaking any more doubt over God's promise. Now, on the other hand, we look at Mary, young, innocent, but equally righteous. And her question, "How will this be since I'm a virgin?" It sounds similar, but the spirit behind it is worlds apart. Zechariah asks for proof, his doubt saying, "Can this even happen?" Mary, she asks for the process. "I believe it will happen, but how?" Mary wasn't looking at her limitations, you see. She was focusing on God's invitation. So what do we take away from this? Zechariah's silence reminds us that sometimes God has to quiet our skeptical minds so that he can work on our hearts. And Mary, on the other hand, also has a lesson for us. She reminds us that faith doesn't mean having all the answers. It just means trusting in the one who does have all the answers. If it's whet your curiosity, the links for my book, Behold the Man, will be coming up right after this. Goodbye.